everyone. I just wanted to welcome you guys to Chapter 8. First, some quick announcements. I will post some videos from Chapter 7. My internet has been really slow and Canvas has backed up. So, it's been a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. So, I'm going to go back and post the videos. They'll be under the feedback tab here. So you guys can go back and get the information. But for this chapter, we're going to focus on Chapter 8. Chapter 8 deals with listening. Listening is a very big part of communication. You cannot respond or reply to what you never hear. Remember, I told you this is a dyad. It takes two people to communicate or more. Remember, we respond to each other. Remember emotions. If I see somebody is upset, the way I approach them will be different than the way it would be if I was happy. Slide 2 talks about the differences between hearing and listening. Hearing basically is just a scientific process. The noise goes in the eardrum. Listening is where you basically make sense of what you've heard. I'm sure all of you have heard the phrase at one point or another in your lives. Yes, you heard me, but did you listen? So that's something that is different, okay? Mindless listening versus mindful. This is both during interpersonal communication. Mindless is just when you are listening to everything. This is typically done more by women, or actually more men, sorry. Sorry. Mindful is usually done more by women. They listen to nonverbal. They listen to body language. They listen to tone. They listen for all of that. So that's the difference. Of course, and everything we've done in our chapter has a process. Here is the listening process: hearing, attending, understanding, responding, and remembering. Hearing is what you hear. It's a step one. It'll always be step one. Attending is where you decide if you're going to listen to it. So you hear the noise and you decide, okay, I'm going to focus on this. Okay? Understanding, of course, is do you understand the message? How do you interpret it? Responding, of course, is how do you respond? Are they looking for a response? What's the appropriate way to respond? And then remembering. This is just the ability to recall information. All of you think you have really good memories. You don't. 50% of what you hear is lost after hearing it. So this video started, what, 2 minutes ago, and you've already forgotten half of what I've said. It goes even further down after 8 hours to 30%. And then after 2 months, you're down to about 25 or so percent. That is why you should reread your notes. This is why you're supposed to read them over every day and not just before the day of the exam. Again, when you cram all that information, you're going to hurt yourself. You can overwhelm your brain. So you should be studying and reviewing your notes every day. It's a lot easier to remember. Here are some challenges. These are the different types of listening, ineffective listening things that people do. All of you have done these. Pseudo listening is just the imitation, it's faking it. Stage hog is where you make the information about you, you hog it. Selective listening was you only hear the information that you want to hear. This is a legitimate thing. Think about when you're listening to the radio, you're listening to your song, and then commercial comes on, you don't listen, and then the music comes back on and you go back to listening. Insulated listening is when you don't want to deal with a certain topic. All of you are different human beings. Some of you may be able to talk about any topic out there. I'm trying to think of class. Some of you I could see are pretty easygoing, pretty liberal. We'll talk about anything. Others of you won't. There are certain topics you won't talk about. Sex. Ooh. I mean, how many of you can just talk to anybody about sex? One thing I don't like is money. I hate it when people ask me, how much money do you make? I bet you make a lot of money being at college. We don't, okay? But, I hate that. So I block it out. Either I ignore the conversation or I change the subject because it's a topic I don't want to discuss. Defensive listening is when you take things as a personal attack. So even when somebody is being nice to you, you take it negatively. So you say, hi Simon, I like your shirt. Well, what's wrong with my shirt? What are you trying to say? No, it's just a compliment. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you only be nice to me because you're trying to set me up. They're always going to be defensive. Ambushing, yes, this is sometimes women. They try to collect information to use in an attack later. This is why a woman can have a fight with you and then bring up a topic that happened 20 years ago. Sorry, ladies. And then insensitive listening is where you just ignore the emotional tone of the conversation. You don't pick up on the verbal cues. So you see somebody, are you okay? I'm fine. And then they walk off. Well, they said they were fine. You didn't listen to the tone where they were practically crying. So that's a problem with insensitive listening. The next two slides are talking about why we don't listen better. These are just challenges. You guys can find these in your books and read them. If you want to become a better listener, the first thing you need to do is shut up, stop talking, talk less. Get rid of the distractions. I can't tell you how many times I've been talking to friends and they're looking at their phones like, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I got you. No, they don't. They're not listening. So put away the cell phones, turn off the television, do whatever it is, and focus. Don't judge prematurely. Don't assume that the person's going to bore you. Don't expect, blah, blah, blah. They're just full of drama. Maybe they have something good to say. Be open minded. And then look for key ideas. Some of you are long winded and will talk and then get to the point. Others of you are, boom, straight to the point. And then maybe sometimes when you're talking about a topic that is not comfortable, it may take you longer to get to the point. So you need to look for the key ideas so you can understand. Okay, I'm going to stop here. This is part one. I don't want to make the video too long because it'll take forever to upload. So part two will be coming up next.